想像してたより狭いじゃん。
That's
スタジア
really
ムと比
big.
べないでよ。
Holy shit, that's college big. I had an auditorium in my high school because I went to a high school about this, but it was like half this big. This is college big. This is the college I go has something exactly like this. They call it, I'm not gonna say the name, but it's a big classroom and it's preserved just for concerts. It is really big for a college, for a high school. This is way too
風の
much.
愛
さんミスっちゃったな。
佐藤先生のところの子か。
道理で途中からボーイング
Oh,
が
I
乱
hate
暴になった
that.
ね。
No, no, no. We can change cameras again. That's exciting. I hate that. They know the teacher and they are judging him based on his teacher. That happens way too often. Even in things like college auditions or something like that, they know the teacher and they can give a good grading or a bad grading purely based on how the teacher is and how they know him. Even before they know everything about him, that's the point. Now, there's better colleges than others, but I might say that the best colleges have the worst of these problems. It's awful there. Awful. You wouldn't want to know how awful it is, right? It's really annoying, and they are really young. 3 mistakes, that's not as bad as you might think. I mean, he made a mistake. He made 3 or 2. They didn't specify because maybe they weren't paying attention. That's another thing that these people do. But he's really young and he is making small mistakes. If the characters, so small that I think if the characters wouldn't have said it, I wouldn't have noticed. I haven't heard this song, but I don't think it was that awful. I don't think it was awful at all. I think he has a lot of talent. And this goes back to how Japan is settled for children. Like they are models, like they have their work set up. And a lot of parents are like that. But you shouldn't be comfortable in that position. I think students deserve better. And if they are getting this, they need to get their voices heard. They need to start a change. As an example, I had a horrible teacher once for around like a semester. First semester ended. He wanted me to keep there because I'm not bad. And I came to him and I said, I'm not coming back here anymore. I'm studying another thing with other teachers and in another environment. But with him, I'm not gonna do it anywhere. And he got really mad. Of course he got really mad. He was a 40-something-year-old. He was even older, but he was giving classes 40 years old. 40 years. And I said it to him. This is not what I deserve. This is not what works in any person, but especially on me. I don't think it's gonna change anything, but I think it was important for me to say it because everyone thought, every single person I talked with knew that they did not want to be with that teacher. Every single person. No, I'm an adult, and I was an adult in that position. You just gotta say it sometimes. People in my area are not going to that college anymore because they know the quality of the education is really bad. I'm not gonna even soft code it. It's really bad. It has a lot of prestige and a lot of opportunities to get out of the country, but it's the worst of all of that if you're gonna be bad because your teachers don't know how to be teachers. It's worthless. Now I go to a better place with better teachers that know way, and sometimes I get even scared. They are really good in what they do. One of them, my current teacher, made his whole graduation around the drum set. Normally you do it percussion in general, right? Marimba, multiple percussion, drum set, Latin percussion. Even here, he did it all in drum set. He justified it and it was accepted. Now that's the teacher I want to have. It's not someone who has 40 years of experience, but I don't know anything about him. And even when I hear him play, I don't get excited. I don't get anything of worth, and I don't want to be that musician. I don't want to be that teacher. So why should I be with that teacher? Makes no sense. Now, I think a lot of people in that environment feel that way. They may not say it because it's really scary to be in front of someone with that much power and saying something like that. But at the end of the day, they are thinking it. So you deserve better if you're thinking it and everyone else is thinking it. And you know it is in you, and you know you're putting on the works and the hours. Like the song, make your voice heard. Demand that. There's a place, I bet you there's a place who does it well. That's all it matters. So you just, if you can, I have the opportunity, I have the means to do it. luckily. And in this country, there's a lot of means. Sometimes it's really hard. That's the truth in music too. Music is really expensive. The instruments are expensive. In the case of percussion, you never stop buying stuff because there's a lot of percussion. You need a marimba, you need a drum set, you need a snare drum, and you keep going and going and going, and then you need this cymbal because this cymbal has holes in it and it sounds more thrashy, and then you want this other cymbal because it's smaller, it's a splash, so you need the splash effect in your music because that's what makes it good. That's not what makes it good, but that's part of it. And in other areas like strings, you need to keep changing the strings because they keep getting bad, and depends on what instrument are you. It's really expensive. A violin string set here around $120. That's crazy. That's really expensive. That's just the strings, may I add. That's professional strings. People on college, of course. Children don't need that expensive stuff, but at the same time, it's really expensive. It's not a lie. It's not something we hide. But I think if you're putting that amount of money and that amount of effort, you deserve that amount of dedication and that amount of education.